All right, today we're going to be talking about dot product and angle between. Okay, so just two examples today. Make sure you really get down dot product, because dot product is going to help you do the angle between. So it says this. So it says the dot product is a number found to help determine the angle between two vectors. Okay, and vector u is a1, b1, right? So you have your horizontal and your vertical component. Okay, and then you have vector v, your second vector, which also has a horizontal and vertical component. You can take the two horizontal components, multiply them together, plus the two vertical components, and multiply them together, and that's how you do your dot product. Okay, so like when we look at this example here, okay, so when we look at this example, we're going to label this A1, B1, A2, B2, right? Okay, and so then to find P times Q, so P times Q, we're just going to do this. We're going to take A1 times A2, so 3 times 6, okay, plus B1 and B2, so 12 times 1. And so that's going to give you 18 plus 12, which equals 30. And there you go. That is your dot product right there. Okay, that is your dot product there. So now angle between two vectors. So you can find the angle between that should be 2 there. Sorry, I misspelled. Two vectors, u and v, by using the following formula. Okay, now this formula, very important. It is on your formula sheet on the back of your calendar. Okay, so you will have access to this come the quiz on Thursday. Okay, and so if you notice, there's multiple parts to it, right? So we've got u times v up here, which is dot product, and then if you recall from the videos last week, when we have absolute value of u and v, when it looks like absolute value signs of u and v, okay, that means we need to find the magnitude of u and v. So we're going to split this into multiple parts. All right. So my first step, okay, is I'm going to find the dot product of u and v. Okay. So u times v, all right, is equal to. Well, we already found it above there, right? Well, yeah, because it looks like it's the same values. Okay, so we know what u times v is, right? We know that that is 30. Okay, so then recall how I find the magnitude of u. It's like this. You take this, it's the square root of both components squared, so 3 squared plus 12 squared. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that into my calculator. And put that in my calculator, and so we're going to do 3 squared plus 12 squared and see what we get. So we get 3 root 17. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to write that down exactly like that. So we're just going to leave it as 3 root 17. And then I need to also find the magnitude of v as well. So again, same thing. Square root. Okay, square root of in this case it's, sorry, I know I'm using u and v because that's what the formulas are, u and v. I'm sorry, I know that that's p and q. Please don't let that confuse you. You should be able to see that was 6 squared plus 1 squared, and so that's going to give you the square root of 37. Okay, now leave these exactly as what you get them based on your calculator. Do not go decimals here. Do not go decimals, because if you do, okay, then it will, you're rounding. Okay, you're rounding. All right, so now all we're going to do is we're going to plug into our formula. So it's going to look like this. So now we're going to get cosine inverse, okay, of, in the top there in the numerator, u times v, which is 30. That was our dot product, all over. Okay, now this is how I do this. I like to just put them in parentheses just to make sure, but I do 3 root 17, close parentheses, and then I do root 37, close parentheses, all around close parentheses there. And if you do that, sorry, I did not mean to hit that. Okay, if you do that and you type it into your calculator now, you should get the correct answer here. So here's how we're going to do it. So we're going to go cosine inverse. And guys, it's always cosine inverse, okay? Fraction button, we're going to put a 30 up here, okay? And then open parentheses, 3 root 17, close parentheses, open parentheses, square root, 37 underneath, close parentheses, or oops. Make sure you guys close the parentheses outside the square root sign. Sorry, I just right there almost closed it underneath. Oh, did I do that on that other one? I did too. Yeah, see, so guys, you gotta make sure when you oh, see, now I gotta redo it. Shoot. Okay, so the problem I made is I did the second parentheses, like as you see it right now, under the square root sign. You want it outside. Okay, you want it outside. All right, and then open parentheses, square root, 37, close parentheses. Okay, and then now big parentheses all the way around. I hit enter, and there we go. So there's our angle in between there. So it looks like 66.5 degrees. Okay, so then 66.5 degrees, and that is your final answer. Okay, now one other thing, very important, and you'll see me do this a lot on the homework, okay? We have orthogonal vectors, which are perpendicular, and then we have parallel vectors, right? So what makes an orthogonal what makes a vector orthogonal is that when you do the dot product here, okay, when you do the dot product and you get 0, that means the vectors are orthogonal. So if we look back at example 1 here, we got a dot product of 30. That means those two vectors are not perpendicular. Okay? So then what makes the vector parallel? Well, for a vector to be parallel, okay, the vectors with an angle of 0 degrees, same direction, or 180 degrees, opposite directions are parallel if one vector is a scalar multiple vector, scalar multiple of another vector, they are parallel. So look at this. So 2, 5 and 4, 10 are parallel because if you were to take vector S here and multiply both components by 2, you would get what vector T is, 4 and 10. Same thing here as well, M. Okay, you have -3, 1. Okay, which if you were to go ahead and multiply both of those components by 3, that would give you vector N. -3 times 3 is if you were to multiply both by -3, you would get then -3 times -3 is a +9. 1 times -3, which is a -3. Okay, and so that's what makes parallel and orthogonal. So you'll be asked to determine those for me on the homework today. All right, so short video today. All right, tomorrow will be a little bit longer because I'll be going over the whole quiz review, but that is it, and just make sure you're working on the homework. All right, thanks guys, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.